At the Piestany Open in Slovakia, we had a very nice game that happened in the third round. Just an open tournament that is taking place, and with the white pieces is the experienced Michal Krasenkow. Now, Krasenkow is well known in the chess world. He's the first ever Polish player to cross 2700 ELO, and he was playing against the youngster from Karnataka, Bangalore, Isha Sharma. She's a WIM rated 2236. You would also have heard about Krasenkow recently when he almost knocked out Pragnananda from the World Cup. That was a very intense match that took place. So let's go to the game. Krasenkow has the white pieces, opens the game with knight f3. Isha goes knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3, bishop g7, e4, d6, d4. We have the King's Indian defense on the board. Castles, bishop e2, e5, and here the main sort of the very main line is castles, and then you go knight c6, d5, knight e7. But Krasenkow pushes the pawn straight away here to d5. So now the knight cannot come out on c6. Isha goes for the main line, which is a5, h3, knight to a6, bishop g5, and here a typical move that a King's Indian player would play, queen e8. So you come out of the pin and you also want to get your knight out. Maybe here goes to c5, and later on also aim for f5 break. g4 was played by Krasenkow. As you can see, he's playing quite ambitiously. King h8, bishop e3, and now Isha comes up with a move which is very, very interesting. By the way, in this position you have some games played by good strong players. Abhijit Gupta has played this line with white against Gawain Jones, P. Karthikeyan, we have Korobo versus Smirin, many games. And in most of the games, either knight d7 or knight g8 has been played. But what did Isha play here? Isha played the move knight takes e4. Boom! She is, going all out. She sacrificed a piece for one pawn. Krasenkow said, well, I'm not impressed. I'll take it. And of course, if you say A, you must say B, f5 on the board. Now, over here, Krasenkow played knight eg5. Maybe not the best. He could have gone knight c3. But of course, you are a bit afraid of f4. Bishop goes back, e4. Let's say knight comes here. And then here's an interesting line, f3, bishop f1, h6, knight e4, bishop c3, bc3, and queen e4, and bishop e3. And in this position, it's not so easy to assess. The material is around even, but white is better. If you look at it closely, there is bishop d3 coming up. And I think this was the best way for white to play. But Krasenkow said, why not go to g5? Maybe I'll be able to put my knight on e6 as well. Isha played h6 here. She could have pushed f4 and e4 and played this position. But she went h6. Opponent played knight e6. By the way, the move knight e4 that Isha played here was not home preparation or anything. She took 28 minutes to play it. So it was over the board. Okay, h6, knight e6. And now, by the way, instead of knight e6, a very good move for white would have been g takes f5. If you take with the bishop here, then knight e6 and white is piece up. So you take back your piece. By the way, if you take with the pawn, that is also possible. But then you have a very powerful move, knight h4. And I think this is something which is not so easy to see, because after bishop h5, knight g6 check coming up, queen is attacked and white is winning. So g takes f5 was a good idea, and at g5, fg6, queen g6, rook g1, white has a big initiative here. h6, knight went to e6, bishop e6, de, f4, bishop d2, bishop c1, queen e6, and now Isha has very good compensation for a piece here. Knight d2, trying to block the e4 square, but of course you don't get it. Pawn comes to e4, and all of a sudden look at the white pieces, all terribly placed, and look at the black pieces, all beautifully positioned. f3, he pushed forward with e3, knight e4, and now queen e7. Well, another idea was to go rook d8 with the idea of d5 already, but Isha does that on the next move, h4. Now rook d8, h5. She doesn't get distracted here. She could have played g5 and kept that nice structure, but she said, I don't need to care, let me play in the center. G5 by Krasenkow. He understands the dangers of his position. He's like, if I don't do something, she's coming d5, later on the pawn will even move further forward. So he goes g5, but after d5, takes. He cannot move the knight because then queen takes g5 would hang. So he takes on h6. If he had played h takes g6, then d takes e4 and the queen would hang. So takes, take here, king takes, queen b3, and now queen g5, threatening to mate with this. So king f1, knight to c5, queen c3 check. Another nice move here. Black to play. How do you play? So if you play queen f6 trying to exchange, you lose the knight. If you move your king away to g8, there is queen c4 check, and also bishop c4 check here. You don't want to go there. So that's, and if you go down the h file, then there is h takes g6 opening up the rook. So rook f6 was an excellent move here. And now after 13 minutes of further thought, again Isha finds the best move. The way she converts this better position is amazing. She plays rook h8, exchanges the only defender there. Well, if you take, it's over because the queen is coming in maybe from this side. So rook g1, queen h4, bishop takes e3, f e3, queen takes e3, and now knight d3, another very powerful strike. And the threat here, basically, let's say if it's black to play, is queen h3. You have to go rook g2, takes, check here, and mate. So bishop d3 was played, and now came rook takes f3, queen takes ef3, and with this Isha has already complete control here. And now the white king is getting mated with the queen and rook attacking, and in this way she managed to beat the world-class player Michal Krasenkow. And Krasenkow has been having a tough event here, but still the way in which Isha played this game was very, very commendable. To sacrifice a piece over the board against a strong GM takes a lot of guts, and then to play in the way she did by pushing her pawns down the board was fantastic. So big kudos to her and wishing her the best in the rounds to come. This is Sagar Shah signing off. Bye bye.